Invest back into the fort.
Yeah.
We are returning to my favorite fortress town of Przemyśl, where everything is or was part of the fortress. Plans for fortifying the town was initially drawn up in the early 19th century, but significant construction of the fortress began by the Austro-Hungarians in the mid-1850s, beginning with huge earthworks and ramparts, as well as several polygon forts designed to protect against a potential Russian attack. These early structures were primarily earthen and brick-based, reflecting the military engineering of the time. But as we know, that would soon change, especially after the War of 1870, and finally permanent solid forts were now constructed from 1881. And then, around the turn of the century, these were further upgraded with cement and additional sand and dirt layers. The first solid artillery fort was Fort No. 8, Letowina, which incorporated poured concrete and served as the prototype for subsequent developments. Of those, there were many, leaving all forts differently, making exploring them a fascinating trip through history. This period also saw the fortress expand into a ring system, with single rampart artillery forts built to accommodate even heavier guns and to resist artillery bombardment. By the mid-1880s, additional forts like those in the outer ring were added, emphasizing armored components and improved defensive layouts. In the late 1890s, the fortress underwent an armored expansion phase, introducing more advanced designs with armored turrets, casemates, and reinforced concrete to counter the advent of high explosive shells. This included forts built between 1892 and 1896, such as Fort 13, St-Rideau, which featured an enhanced armored plating and artillery positions. We will visit that one first, and it is clear that this was something else entirely. By 1914, it was the largest fortress town in Europe, with over 40 forts and batteries and entrenchments spanning an 18-kilometer outer ring and a 10-kilometer inner ring. By the time of the war's beginning, Przemyśl was a formidable complex garrisoned by tens of thousands of troops designed to hold out against sieges and protect the empire's eastern flank. Ultimately, it would endure 3 major sieges between 1914 and 1915 that resulted in its capture and recapture. Fort 13, also known as the 𝐽𝐿𝐽𝐽, is a main armored artillery fort that is located here approximately 6 kilometers northwest of Przemyśl. It was constructed between 1892 and 1896 as part of the armored expansion phase of the fortress. It represents a significant advancement, incorporating reinforced concrete, armored turrets, and casemates built to withstand modern artillery. And it breaks my heart that there is so little left of the facade. It must have been impressive in its day. I've never seen anything like this before. The fort was designed as an Einheitsfort, a standard fort, nearly identical to that of Fort Brunna nearby, but with one fewer armored turret instead. It featured a right-hand armored battery for enhanced flanking fire. Its layout included a central barrack block, artillery positions for 15-centimeter howitzers and 8-centimeter guns, and defensive elements like a moat, Caponiers, and a full-length defensive wall along the ditch. It played a crucial role in the 3 sieges of Przemyśl. In September 1914 to March 1915, it endured heavy Russian bombardment and infantry assaults. The fort's garrison, primarily Austro-Hungarian troops, held out during the first and second sieges both, but it suffered damage from artillery fire, including from Russian heavy guns. In March 1915, Prior to the fort's surrender, part of the forts were demolished by its own defendants to prevent it from captured intact, and here is the remains today. I had to digitally try to recapture what it would have looked like, but I don't think it could possibly do it justice. This must have been amazing.
The name of it is 𝐼𝐶. It means defense of a Sun River.
Okay.
That was the biggest fort in the whole Fortress of Przemyśl. That building was 3 floors high,
And here they are.
prepared for over 600 soldiers, completely made of concrete. As you could see, on the roof of the building there would be 8 armored towers, and 2 on the left and right side as observations. The youngest fort in the Fortress of Przemyśl. That's why it looks completely modern to compare to the other forts that we saw today.
So when was this built?
Shortly before the beginning of the First World War. And as you can see, it was completely destroyed. When the Austro-Hungarians give up, they blow up the building and destroy it completely. And there is a legend about the ghost of the Fortress of Przemyśl. You can see the ghost right here. It's painted over there. You see?
Yes.
And how the legend started. 8 years after the First War, there was a company that was taking off the metal from the forts, as the scrap, to melt it and use it again. And as the legend goes, one of the workers that been here in this fort, he have found some secret doors that leading to the undergrounds of the fort, and over there he found a Russian soldier that was locked in the undergrounds of this fort for 8 years. Why he survived? Because there was a well with water, and there been some food supplies. Actually, at the end, as they found out, there was 2 of those soldiers, but after 5 years, one of them committed suicide, and only one has survived. And he was found, as the legend goes, 8 years after the First War. A lovely legend, but this is a legend, sorry.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a stretch to... there's a hell of a food supply.
Well, to tell you the truth, there was a well in every fort. There has to be.
Yeah.
But there was no undergrounds in this fort, like they say in this legend. And there was no food supplies after a war in the forts.
No, they're running out of food.
Of course. That's why the fortress give up.
I mean... But it's really interesting to see it completely dissected like this, so you can see everything there is.
Yeah, and if you look down your feet, you have to remember we're still standing in the middle of the building.
Yeah, this is the back wall.
Yeah, this is the back wall.
We're standing on...
Yeah, inside
this is the outer wall.
Yep.
So this is how wide it would have been.
Of course.
Are there any pictures of this before it was blown up?
Or for doors.
For the doors?
Yeah, that would be a door right here. That would lead to the casemate. Because you see, on the left, on the right, you got the wall, probably. And there would be a casemate inside, right here.
Oh, you can actually sort of see the outlines of the...
Yeah, of course. I think you're going to have a better view if we stand over there, on the top.
I agree. They had to blow it up, didn't they?
Yeah, well, the idea was not to left in the Russian hands nothing that could use against us.
Yeah. I get it.
Did I tell you that tunnel is called Poterna?
No.
Okay. I don't know is it translated on English or not. And it goes, I hope there's no water inside. It goes beneath the well. Beneath the moat. Should be dry.
Oh yeah, I was looking at the how high the ceiling is.
And it goes to the building that was supposed to protect the moat. Okay? You're gonna go first?
Sure.
Okay, for the pictures. See the temperature?
It's always an even 9-10 degrees, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Inside tunnels, caves,
I
bunkers.
think there's a water over there, sorry.
That's fine.
I don't know if we'll be able to cross it. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, it's nice. Wow, this is luxury compared to what I'm used to.
And here we enter to another building.
So now we're under the ditch.
Yep. And up.
I see signs of fire.
This is completely, new thing from 20th century.
Yeah, somebody had a
Yeah.
always have campfires inside because they're idiots and then they burn tires and stuff. Ooh.
Okay, so take a look through this window. This is inside of the moat.
Right.
This is the fire window that was supposed to defend the moat, okay?
Yes.
And during the siege of a fortress, there was a gossip that the Russians are digging the minor tunnels to blow up the fortress.
Yeah.
So what the Austro-Hungarians decide? They decide to build their own minor tunnels. No, to blow
Countermines.
before the Russians, okay?
Yes.
They start to doing that right here.
Part of Fortress siege warfare for the past 700, 800, 900
Yeah,
years.
something like that, yeah. You can go ahead, you're gonna have better pictures.
So this is a wall along the ditch, or the moat.
You get the moat. You're gonna see it in a minute, we're gonna go outside.
So this is, this is not a Caponier or anything, this is actually the...
Actually, it's joined with the two Caponiers. You're gonna see it in a minute. But it was one huge building.
I love it.
All together, okay? The tunnel that I was telling you about, the minor tunnel. They start to dig it right here. But they never finished. And actually, you see how huge this wall is.
This was, this was really thick. It's interesting because when they built something like Fort Mutzig, they built it with holes like this, expecting to have to countermine. So they wouldn't have to break the wall. They left gaps in the wall so they could start digging without having to break the wall apart.
Okay.
Thinking ahead that this is a thing that might have to do.
As we spoke about the Caponiers, there's two of them on the left and right side of this building. Right here.
Oh.
Yeah, you see if we go outside, you got a whole moat right there. So the idea was, if the Russian troops would jump to the moat, they would be shot directly through those windows, and there would be two Caponiers on the left and right side that would shoot through the moat, through the center of it, and also on the left and the right side of the moat.
So I'm standing inside what was a somewhat destroyed part of
Caponier, yeah.
Caponier, yeah.
Those blow up.
I mean, these things happen a lot.
You see, when the fortress gave up, it was easier for also Hungarians to take all of the ammunition that they have in one fort and put it in a small building.
Yeah.
And mostly they use the Caponiers, and then blow them away. That's why they are destroyed. And when I was telling you that on the main building, you have 8 domes with cannons inside. You got 2 observation domes, and they've been right here on the left and right Caponier. And where they've been, right here, there will be a ladder inside.
Oh, yes.
And that will be, on the top of it, that will be the observation dome.
A traditional observation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Flush
As you
type
said,
thing.
yeah, no steps and it's not comfortable.
That's why is it cemented over? Who cemented it over?
Couple of years ago, you know, because
Just for
so no one would fall down, you know.
Yeah, I
It's
figured
just
that.
for protection.
It wasn't part of a during war fix. It wasn't. They weren't trying to repair it after they took it back.
No, no, no.
Is this another countermine?
Probably, yeah.
Is that a natural stone layer?
All of the stone that they use in the fortress, it comes from the Przemyśl and surrounding area.
So you have a rocky underground.
Yep.
Ventilation over you?
It was easier to use, stone and all of the materials from here.
Yeah,
It's cheaper for a military.
Was this the bathroom? There's a bathroom.
Yeah, I think so. It's a strange place to...
No, actually,
window.
it is a very normal place.
I know, even in Russian bunkers today.
Yeah.
You're gonna see that Molotov outside the hotel, you know? You got a position for a machine gun and you're standing on the toilet like that.
Yep. Mutzig the same, all the way up to early Maginot Line forts. Firing position, toilet. So this is an inner.
That was probably a storage place for ammunition, you know?
Yeah. So this whole center island
Yep.
is where the fort is. So this defense there, and then there will be you shoot from the main building right here.
Yeah.
The main building that is obviously
But the
not
whole
there.
idea was if the Russians would come, they would come from that direction.
Yeah,
No.
they'll come over the ditch there.
Yep.
And that's why all the main guns are pointing outwards that
Yes.
way. And here you see the ditch. And this wall would once have continued into the Caponiers here, which is outlined by this fence, which is actually quite nice. But destroyed, most certainly, it is. If this is where they placed the explosives, that would make sense, since the blast seemed to have emanated from here and taken this wall with it. And this is one of the third countermine they had begun. Of course, all this was once all covered and inside enclosed in the hallway. That has now ceased to be. Wow, it's just...
Yeah, imagine how huge it has to be when it collapsed.
This was all, yeah, all part of the building.
Yep.
So, yeah, this is the remnants of where the domes would have been. The 6 on the line here?
Yeah. Through whole building.
Oh, all the way over as well?
Yep.
Oh. So they actually had the domes above the caserne?
Above the second floor. The third floor of the building, that would be the last floor with the armor domes.
So they had the domes over the barracks?
Yep.
Wow.
Take a look at here. You couldn't be a fat soldier if you wanted to serve in the fort. Because if you take a look at right here in the center, when you have to enter to your room, there's not too much space.
Nope. That's actually very, very tight.
Yeah, it is.
Especially
And
if you,
imagine that you have to run with your rifle and backpack. No.
that's what I was thinking. They have the gear and everything. This is a very small hallway. There's something so impressive about ruins.
a look over there. There's original floor, original tiles on the floor right here.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Over there. It still survived.
That's very fancy for a fort. It's almost a little overkill, isn't it?
Austrian-Hungarians.
Austrian-Hungarians. We're blaming all the Russians. Oh, well, the Austrians.
So now we're gonna enter the top of the fort.
Little hatch for.
A window?
So the window, just a window over
Yeah,
the
that was just a
staircase?
window.
Interesting place to put a window.
Yeah, maybe they need a light inside.
Yeah. So besides the steel domes, were there cannons out here on the ramparts as well?
No, mostly the soldiers would run from over there and stand right here to shoot to the Russian positions before the fort.
With rifle fire, or did they
Rifle fire, mostly.
The-
If they have to. No.
Yeah. So like just a regular rampart defense.
But I want to show you something inside. If the Russians would enter inside, right here,
Yeah.
no? You see over there, there's a hole in the floor because that was a hidden trap for Russians.
Oh, there's a trapdoor here.
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like
in
you
the
see
floor,
water.
so that would be collapse and they would fall down 3 floors down. You know?
Just like in old castles?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, very old system, but it was in use here in this fort. That's why we got those bars here to protect the tourists, actually, you know. There was a story here in during the second siege, when there was a winter, and that was very heavy winter during that time in 1915. There was a Russian patrol sent on the duty, and the patrol was lost. So the Russians sent another patrol. It was also lost. So they sent a third one. And that third patrol was also lost. And all of the 3 patrols been found by Austrian-Hungarian patrol. Where? In a village, in the old house. And what was the whole story about? The first Russian patrol has found illegal alcohol. So they decide to drink it over there, not to bring it to the officers. No, the second patrol did the same thing. The third patrol did the same thing. So all of the 3 patrols been found by Austro-Hungarian patrol. Everyone was completely drunk. So that's life.
You know what? The Americans did the same thing in France.
Yeah.
Fort 11 is a 2-rampart artillery fort about 8 kilometers northeast of Przemyśl in the fortress outer ring. Its original traces back to 1854-57 when it was initially constructed as a simple earthen rampart without fortified. However, the fort underwent major reconstruction between 1881 and 1887, transforming it into a permanent structure with poured concrete reinforcements, artillery casemates, and a double rampart design for layered defense. It featured a pentagon layout with moats, Caponiers for close defense, and positions for heavy artillery, 15-centimeter mortars, and field guns. It provided interlocking fire with adjacent fortifications, and during the siege of the town, World War I, it saw intense combat, particularly in the second siege. On October 1914 to 15 March of the next year, it was targeted by Russian forces attempting to breach the outer ring. The fort's defenses held during the initial assaults, but it faced heavy shelling, including from large-caliber guns, leading to the partial destruction. During the German recapture of the fort, a 42-centimeter mortar was deployed against Russian positions, and a few impacts are still clearly visible here.
Okay, that's
After a second siege, okay?
seen worse.
And you can see right here there was also observation dome and armor domes right here. There's three of them right here and three right here. But they've been completely different than the one that you saw before, because those domes that they use here, they lift up to shoot.
Oh, they have the racing dome.
Yep.
So you really had a little bit of everything here.
Yeah, I told you, all of the forts been different.
So there was a ditch. There was a ditch.
It was.
Howitzers will do that kind of destruction. But back then the facade was all red brick,
Yep.
at least in the summer. Like that one.
In 1970s and 60s, probably beginning of 1970s, that fort belonged to the company in the city that was making wine. It was used as a storage. So what they did, in every window, they cut off the doors. No? That's why that has to be rebuilt.
What used
There was a bar around it here.
Oh, the steel bars around.
Yeah.
Okay.
To protect the entrance to the fort.
So there was an earth wall, and then was there a house or something with a driveway?
Nothing like that.
Oh, this is one of those where the gates was destroyed
Yeah,
because.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
That, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
And I remember when I was a kid, that building was in private hands, and they produced here mushrooms. You know, I heard about legends about the underground tunnels all the time in Przemyśl.
No, I'm just talking about World War II underground tunnels in general were used for mushroom farming afterwards.
That was the same lift that we saw on the fort number 1 for cannons. Only it's locked over there. But it works in the same way as it works on the fort number 1. So here you got the well.
Oh yes.
It's quite deep. See,
Where's that coming from?
See? Wow. Yeah. When they make the renovation, they did it wrong.
This looked like there's one of the sides that wasn't completely destroyed, but
Yeah, that fort has survived, actually. That would be, see, that,
tunnels.
yeah, that would be the tunnel that flushes the water around the,
Oh, the water. Okay, the water drains.
yeah, the water drains. That's a casemate for the soldiers, right here.
Yes.
That's exactly how the casemate for the soldiers would look like in the fort number 1.
And then shut it.
Yeah, shut by this wall on the end.
It's amazing how many places I've seen where those outer walls have been destroyed.
Yeah.
I actually went to the point where I thought that there was a wooden wall because I have almost seen none.
Oh, yeah. Know what you mean.
The bricks, they disappear.
Yeah, it was easier to dismantle them.
Yeah.
Especially if, you know, a local city council gives you a permission for it. There's a lift for ammunition. Almost the same as we saw in the fort number 1.
Yeah. So, ammunition lift. So there's an ammunition room, or a munition room somewhere. So all of these are caserna, or they're all barracks, or none of them are?
All of them will be prepared for soldiers. Mostly at the end of the part of the building, that would be a kitchen.
Usually in the West, you don't see the guns right on top of the caserne.
You don't see?
No, usually they're offset.
Okay.
Where you have the peacetime barracks in one building, and then you have the caserne and the firing part in another to the
That
side.
would be a storage place for ammunition.
Yes. Yeah. Were there shelves in here? Was
There has to be, probably, yeah.
This is a small 200-man fort too?
Yeah, and then from here, right here. That was a building where they hide the domes, on the left, on the right. You see, at the very beginning, when they built the fort, you see there was a bar going there, so no one could fall down. That
Yes, there was.
Yeah, that elements are still original.
I mean, it only seems fair that in the night and soldiers don't fall over or fall off.
Oh. That part of the building was hit right here.
This is one of the 420?
Yeah.
Well, there seems to be a history both here and in France of everybody shooting at their own forts when the enemy took them. The French tried to
They
destroy.
didn't want to leave nothing to the enemy.
No.
And this is the last part of the elevator that we saw downstairs. This part is original, actually.
Oh, they even have
Yeah.
the wheel. Yeah, these parts are original, aren't they?
Yeah, those ones are original. It's a small storage place here.
That's back into the fort.
Yeah.
Hook for the cannon
No,
to move?
probably it was supporting one.
Yeah, that's too big for a light.
Yeah, they didn't use such big lights.
So this casement looks a little bit more intact than the other one.
Yeah, on the left side.
So this also had a covered entrance.
Over there on the right side you could see there's only part of the metal element that is left from it. It's stick from the ground.
So this is right.
What is this sound?
Windmill.
Think so?
Covered entrance. That's
Yeah.
different. I haven't seen that in a lot of places.
I think it's the only one that exists here in the fortress.
Yeah. It's wet and rainy. See if I can replicate that.
So there is only a lift for ammunition. Yeah.
So this is all this is, and then the actual building will be to the right of us.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a little cracked.
Yeah, but if you take a look at over here, look at this crack. It looks like the
It looks like a gate.
a gate or something.
Do you think there would have been a gate into the actual bunker?
Not sure. You know,
I mean, there should have been.
Yeah, the building was rebuilt in 1902. So maybe there was some gate here, and maybe it was rebuilt later.
Yeah, that really does look. But then they would build the casemate would be newer. There would have been an entrance into the casemate, wouldn't there?
Probably. Or is it going outside the building?
Going outside the building. Well, let's go outside and see if it's there. See, but yeah, I mean,
the
this
roofs,
looks
yeah.
so. This really, I mean, it's the same material,
Yeah, it is.
but
But if they rebuild the fort, they could use the same material now to hide the doors.
yeah, they would. It wasn't that long since original construction had taken place. And then you had the corrugated iron here, out there on the walls. Steel
Yeah,
metal
because
beams.
if they rebuild the fort, you know, shortly before the First War,
heavy steel door here as well. Corrugated iron. Actually looks almost heavier. So what's left of it. And there's some look like peepholes. Don't know if they are.
I don't know, you would have those gates somewhere right there, yeah?
Yeah.
What for?
Was the artillery position here?
Probably, yeah.
To bring ammunition up to the gun.
Yeah, maybe it was easier, yeah?
Yeah, instead of going through the steel
Around,
door.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would certainly think so. It's like the greatest danger to anybody on a motorcycle is a hot girl in short shorts.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I was going to say, I don't want to make it illegal. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it's a danger.
Shouldn't be like that.
No, sometimes just because something's bad for you doesn't mean
there
you
would
don't want it.
be a toilet.
One?
Two. The second one would be a valve.
Okay.
And there will be probably a pipe goes down through it, you see?
Yep, there's an actual ceramic sit-down toilet.
Yeah. But I'm not sure is it original, to tell you the truth. I wouldn't say that they use ceramic toilets here.
It's one of those, the technology existed, but was it here?
Yeah, well,
Just because, yeah, I mean, it's interesting that the Prussian and German and Austrian Hungarians didn't work more together on their fortifications. They were sort of allies.
okay, where was I? Ah, sorry, it's not the spot. I'm thinking about another one. Something that I want to show you, but it's on another photo.
What was this?
It's only a storage place on the left and the right.
With windows?
No, you got windows here, and right there. See, that room is completely dark. So you can use it for an ammunition. This one will be smaller. Look at those morons. That wall is new, and here would be the entrance to the second room. You see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And that wall is also new. That one. It's brand new.
yeah. So they shored this up.
Yeah.
So I guess the shell came down here, in the corner here somewhere.
Probably, yeah. It's always like that.
This is an interesting room, because this is a room in other forts that wouldn't be covered,
Yeah.
where you just have the open from one caserne to the next.
Okay, but the main idea is if you've got ammunition here, you have to remember that the soldiers are far away.
Yeah.
So even if that part would be destroyed, they wouldn't be harmed.
Yeah, I love the idea that this is actually covered, because let's see, if it doesn't tell us where we are, it says we are in
There's a sign?
Mitterwald.
Yeah.
Mitterwald. We're in the middle.
And here you would also have steps going up.
Yeah.
You see, the wall is closed. And you can see the steps being right here. And now we are going to the boat. Okay, I think we can go around.
This is a very discreet little exit from a very large center space.
But there should be a bunker right here.
There should be the Caponiers or something right
Yeah.
here, shouldn't there? Like frontal defense.
Okay. Okay, so this is the tunnel that leads to the Caponier.
That is no more.
It's not collapsed. I hear water somewhere over there, but I think we can.
I see a staircase.
Yeah, they lead to this building.
So we are inside non-reinforced cement.
That was the canal probably that flushes the water down. Oh shit, it's full of water.
Oh, what else is new? So are my boots.
Yeah, I got the same problem.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, okay. We have those domes over here. See? The stairs is leading to the armor tower.
What is really interesting is how the two new gun positions, both with two steel domes each, were connected by a wooden infantry firing position, with the wooden firing ports covered with dirt. This was the most modern, meeting the oldest, most classic wooden firing positions, but it's an amazing place to see.
Somebody stole the armor tower.
Yeah, what can you do?
I was going to say call someone, but so this was one.
There's the second one. And here, in the middle, right there, you will have observation dome. You see, there would be stairs leading to the observation dome above.
Oh yes. Yeah, all this would have been encased. Well, actually this would have been. Think we get the Austrians to hand over their dome?
There was a statue that was put on the main market square in Przemyśl. It was a statue of a knight with a sword. It was made of wood, so everybody could buy a nail and put it on the statue, and the money from it would go to the orphans, that has lost the parents during the First War.
Yeah.
And when the Austro-Hungarian Emperor was finished, they took this statue with them.
Okay.
And that statue was supposed to be in Vienna, in a museum over there. I think it's a war museum. But when we asked them, they said they never seen it. And they don't know where it is.
Is there any evidence it actually ever made it?
No. It's the only information that we have that the statue was moved to Vienna.
I mean, somebody could, it may, well, yeah, if it, maybe it never got there.
Maybe, yeah, it could be like that. I can believe in that.
Maybe someone is sitting in some nobleman's house somewhere.
Yeah, I would believe in that also.
Would believe that the Austrians may also have no idea. It could be sitting in archives somewhere.
Could be, yeah, that's true. I still would like to know where it is.
I agree. Do we know what Austrian unit took it?
No.
I knew the answer to that before I asked the question. I just thought I'd ask it anyway.
Yeah, you know how it was.
Yeah, I know.
That was the main entrance.
That was never a window.
Never. That was the main entrance to this part of the fort.
That's why there's a ramp. This is where they could roll cannons up on the rampart.
of course. And they could run with the cannons over here.
Ah.
And set them right on the top of the building.
Of course. That makes perfect sense.
Fort number 10, it's more destroyed than this one, but maybe that's why they didn't rebuild it as this one.
This is Fort 11.
Yeah, this is Fort 11. Called 𝐦𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞, that's the name of the village.
Well, since I see an interesting...
We should go around this.
I have military boots inside that are weatherproof. I'm just not wearing them. This was the ammunition store down here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But that floor is a lot deeper than the one I'm standing on. There's a step here, I think. It's like my boots can't really get much more wet than they are already. So, but yeah.
Gosh.
Like I said, there was a step down there.
Yeah. That water goes through the ceiling, you see?
Yeah. Well, weatherproofing was a real thing.
Yeah.
And without it, it's a real lack of thing.
The problem is today, I've been working for 6 years with this fort number 12, no? I was telling you there's a museum over there in private hands. They don't know how to use the ventilation in the forts. You know? They close the doors. I remember one time they closed the doors on the left and the right side. Then it was full of water.
Yep, of course.
It will be much better in the next fort.
But it's the mist that makes it fun.
Yeah, the mist is amazing, yeah.
Fort 10 was a main artillery fort and a key part of the fortress with the latest upgrades, approximately 7 kilometers east of town. Within the eastern sector of the fortress outer ring, it was built between 1884 and 1886 as a 2-rampart artillery structure. It featured a pentagon design with armored elements, casemates for guns, a deep moat, Caponiers, 2 of them, defending the back of the fortress. And something very special I've never seen before, one of the upgrades was one of the early Panzerplattes. It saw extensive action during the first and third siege of Przemyśl, 1915, when it was repelling Russian infantry and artillery attacks, but it sustained heavy damage. Notably, it was also a target for another German 42cm mortar during the relief operation in 1915, and parts were, again, deliberately blown up by the Austro-Hungarian troops before the fortress fell, in order to deny that asset to the Russians. The siege here contributed to overall high casualties, with the fort's ruin bearing evidence of the heavy fighting.
So that would be fort number 10.
And the last one, Fort 11,
Yeah.
which is down there supporting this fort.
Yeah, two big ones that have been attacked during the first siege. And that one would be quite familiar to the fort number 11.
Well, I see a lot of bits and pieces. With a little paint, we can put them back together.
Yeah, a super glue or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Is this the back of the front wall?
This is the back of the front wall. The main building would be right here.
Two domes on the sides.
Yep.
And open standing artillery in the field.
Almost the same like fort number 11. That's what I wanted to show you, the Caponiers here. And we're gonna enter the tunnels.
Well, usually I say usually blown up by the Russians, so blown up by the Austrians is a new...
Something new.
That's new, yeah. So this is the back wall.
Yeah, the back wall of the building.
And then we come all the way straight down to the Caponier. I love that you guys actually, as a city, took time to keep it from falling down. Curious.
It's actually the same room that you saw on the fort number 10.
Yeah, there's just a little bit less of it.
Yeah, and this one was hit right here by 120 millimeters. And take a look over there. It goes through the ceiling.
120?
Yeah.
12 centimeter?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought these were built to at least withstand 12 millimeter.
No.
And this was a howitzer too.
420 goes through the ceilings.
And 120 does as well. This was 12 centimeter.
Yep.
Yeah. And then it came in and exploded in the room? Wow.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, must have used some force to make it through there, but at least you can see how thick the walls are. What are you, 2 meters? About?
2 meters, yeah, I think so. It looks like 2 meters.
Yeah.
And here would be, see, there would be a steps. Oh. And you remember, Tino, when we've been on the fort number 10, we would have walls on the end of those part of these buildings.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. You don't have this wall right here, that's how it looks originally.
This is the original where you just roll up the cannons.
Yes.
Oh, so there's a lot more fort that was destroyed out there.
Yeah.
Okay, now I see it.
But what you don't have here, because as you remember, we entered to the Moat in the fort number 11, straight through the town.
Oh, now, okay, yes.
Yeah.
So that was destroyed from a fire from above?
No, I think that the Hungarians has blown it up. But we can go right here.
So that's what the entrance originally looked like.
Yeah.
So cement and brick on top, well, cement on top of brick.
The ceiling would be made of cement.
Was any of this reinforced after construction?
No.
Yeah, the swing on the door.
Yeah.
On the floor there.
There will be a small wheel in the door so you can swing it.
Yeah. So
this is the Caponier, the right Caponier in the moat, and
it seemed to have been opened up a little bit.
take a look at here. That baby was made by Skoda, also.
I see an armored dome-ish, an armored dome-ish. I see Panzerplatte type thing?
1899.
1899.
And here we get it came out of a...
I haven't seen the remnants of a World War I Panzerplatte, I don't know, ever. Well, World War I Panzerplatte, there's not a lot of those.
Yeah, that's true.
For almost obvious reasons. So steel plate for the Caponier here, So what are we looking at? 12 centimeters? No, it's more. It's 25 armor to add to a foundation there. Is where it was linked to.
M10. So 10 millimeters.
No, 10 millimeters.
8 centimeters, sorry.
10 millimeter. That would just be
a centimeter.
Yeah, and it's thicker here on the fighting front than it is on the top too. Sitting on the mount, and then the gun will be mounted on here, probably
in the middle.
To those two that probably had screws coming out of them at one point. So you think some scrappers cut this?
Mostly.
So this part of the roof.
Yeah, that fall down, yeah.
Was there an observation in there? No. No, there wasn't.
No, there wasn't.
So is that for camouflage netting?
Yeah, they use it. You see those? That is a pigtail, actually.
Yep, it is. So actually,
And
there'll be barbed wire as well.
Yeah, and spread the material on it also, so cover it up.
And the tunnels, you said?
Yep. It goes to this building that we saw. No. And look over here. This is the rest of the pipe that goes there. Probably that was inside there was a telephone line.
Really?
Yeah. But someone has still the, you know, it's a...
Yeah. Just the fact that there was a telephone line is...
Well,
I mean, the people in the back, they need to... The people in the back here, they would need to talk to people in the front about what's actually happening.
Yeah. You want to go first for the pictures?
No, go for it.
Okay.
It's your tunnel.
No, it's not mine.
It's your favorite tunnel.
Yeah, it is my favorite, that's true. You see, they've been above the building because those are the stones that surround the armor tower.
Yeah.
And they fall down right here when the building was blown up.
Yeah, I thought they had a bit of a curve to it. So that's at least one main difference between World War I and World War II steel domes. Is World War II were all sunken in cement.
Yeah,
and
that's
here
true,
they put them
yes.
on stone. This is stone.
This is a stone, yeah. And here we go above.
And I last month saw a German World War I test fort they used to shoot at, where they put the dome on stone.
Okay.
And everybody was, no, it can't be stone. Like, no. They said, I'm sure it's stone. No, it can't be, They wouldn't do stone. Yes, they did, because here they are.
Yeah.
So, this is the fun thing about visiting different places.
Yeah,
you get to tie it. You get to tie it together.
Similar as on the fort number 11, we would have two armor towers in this building. One would be here on my right side, and just the second one on the left. Exactly on the buildings that we saw on the fort number 11.
And that's a ring that would be a door
That's
support.
a ring that was surrounding the doors. So you just get through those doors. There would be some steps leading to the building. Actually, you can see those steps over there.
Yeah.
They are just full of grass and everything, but they are still over there.
Yeah. And I'm standing inside the arched hallway here. This was 2 floors.
You know what? Actually, those stones, part of them, are still on the position.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just saw that. Yeah, I could see them from.
You can see it?
Yep. Yeah, still see it here too. Although it's harder to identify that as part of the position, but that's I think where the stones. Yeah, this is part of the ring that's kind of crooked.
Yeah. That's why the stones from here, they fell down directly to the tunnel.
Yep.
So that would be observation dome in the middle.
Yep.
You see, the main idea to use the stones around the armor tower. If you would use the concrete, the tower starts to shake when you start to shoot at it. And the concrete would crack.
Especially the concrete back then.
Of course. You use those kinds of stones and they move everything around.
Yeah.
Like all of the shaking. I'm actually like a kid in the kindergarten.
That's why we do this. We do this because it's fun and we kind of love it.
And you see, Tino, you remember I was telling you about this system that they used in the medieval times
Which one of them?
to hold the doors.
Yes.
See, you got it right here. If you take a look at it,
Yeah.
you just take part of the wood, you know, throw it right here, the second part here,
Yep.
and then you can build a wall.
Yeah. And
It was a system that was created in the medieval times and it's still in use here in the fortress during the First War.
and the Second World War for emergency.
same,
All
yeah.
the forts of Second World War
Yeah.
had emergency exits closed the same way, and some of them had interior, the longer Maginot Line forts and the Belgian forts had their tunnels interspersed with those, so they could seal off sections of their fort. Even the Germans, East Wall. Very happy that this is here.
Like, you know, not so far from Przemyśl, there is a town called 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞. And
overlooking the heart of the city, on the hill here to the south. Besides the amazing view of the old city, here are also remnants of the early fortress parts and of the battles of the Second World War.
right now we are standing in the inner ring of a fortress of Przemyśl. What you have to remember, all of the roads that leads to the city been closed, but those kind of gates. So a soldier could hide inside, lock the doors behind him. He had a small shooting window.
Yep.
And you can see the bullet marks that almost break through inside. So imagine what this guy would feeling like if he would stand in here.
So what were they shooting at him with? Well, they came through.
Yeah.
That one didn't. But yeah,
Look
these.
how much of them you got here.
I mean, yeah, some of them didn't make it, but some of them did.
Been saying it was created in the medieval times. You see, you could cut the tree and use it to build another
Slide
wall
down
right
an
here.
extra.
Yes, slide down here and build another wall.
Yeah. So this was the gun gate.
Yes.
Wouldn't exactly have been a whole lot of fun in here.
You think so?
I mean,
Come on, Tino.
where do you hide?
You wouldn't want to be in that position.
I was gonna be like, where do you hide?
Yeah.
So this was Russian rifle fire?
No, I don't think so. Maybe it's from the Second War.
You think? Were they fighting here for the Second World War?
Yep.
Yeah, with German anything tanks riding around the road, I wouldn't want to sit in there.
We are still in the middle ring. That bunker that we saw on the top, here, that wall over there, that was all joined together.
So this is actually This is part of the inner defensive ring.
Yep.
So
It was supposed to defend the road that leads to the city.
so this wasn't actually a fortress ring or a fort ring. This was smaller defensive positions.
Yep.
See, I thought that was part of a wrecked castle, fortress, or...
No, no, no. We are still in the middle of the Fortress of Przemyśl.
Now, just because the old fortress was in ruins did not mean that war would not return to it. Twice. The first time at the outbreak of the Second World War in September 1939, as Germany launched its invasion of Poland. Przemyśl became one of the first flashpoints of the Polish-German border. The Polish, numbering around 20,000 troops, under General 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐤, fortified the town using the remnants of old Przemyśl fortress, including earthworks and trenches, outdated artillery positions as well. The German forces from the 4th Light Division and the 2nd Panzer Division attacked on September 14 to 16th, but the Polish defenders, leveraging the hilly terrain, the river crossings over the Seine, mounted a fierce resistance that halted the Wehrmacht's advance for 3 days. This delay disrupted Germans' plans to encircle Polish forces in the region, allowing some to retreat eastwards. However, by September 17, the Soviet Union invaded eastern Poland from the east under the secret Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, and the Red Army units from the 11th Army entered Przemyśl unopposed on September 18th. Partitioning the town along the Seine River, the western side, the German, and the eastern side, the Soviet, the brief Polish-German clash left over 1,000 Polish casualties and a significant damage to the town's infrastructure. But the Soviets' arrival ended the active fighting, ushering in a period of dual occupation that sowed ethnic tensions with deportations of Polish and Jewish civilians to the Soviet interior, beginning with April 1940. The Soviets now initiated a massive fortification program in 1940 known as the Molotov Line, a 4,500-kilometer defensive network of reinforced concrete bunkers, anti-tank ditches, and artillery positions stretching from the Baltic Sea to the Carpathians. The southmost segment was Przemyśl fortified region. It was centered on the city and tasked with securing the vital Seine River crossings, the bridges, and the fords. Construction began in the spring of 1940, employing forced labor from local Polish, Ukrainian, and Jewish villages alongside with Red Army conscripts. By June 1941, only about 25% of the overall line was finished here. The Przemyśl sector still boasted 186 bunkers and positions under construction and included 100 bunkers equipped with machine guns, such as the Maxim PM-1910 and 45mm anti-tank cannons. These were primarily 1- or 2-story reinforced concrete structures with 1 to 2 meter thick walls and ceilings, designed mostly for flanking fire, frontal side or double-sided coverage, to create interlocking fields of fire. Many incorporated salvaged elements from the 1930s Polish east wall defenses, such as observation domes, and several were integrated directly onto the 19th century Austro-Hungarian forts as well. The bunkers were strategically placed on both sides of the river to divide the town into defensive zones, eastern side positions focused on the riverline obstacles and approaches from Ukraine, while western side bunkers guarded urban choke points like rail lines. The Soviet buildup, however, proved woefully inadequate when Operation Barbarossa finally unleashed. Przemyśl, as a gateway to Lviv and the Ukrainian plains, became a secondary but intense battlefield in Army Group South's advance. The German 101st Jaeger Division spearheaded the assault against the understrength Soviet 99th Rifle Division with about 8,000 men. These manned the Molotov line positions here, but with minimal training, poor camouflage, shortage of ammunition, fuel, and coordination. Soviet commander errors included delayed mobilization and lack of independent power sources for bunkers. This compounded vulnerabilities, and many positions were only occupied hours before the attack. That's leading us back to the question, were these bunkers actually diversion to obfuscate the Russians' build-up for their own attack on Germany, planned for a few weeks later?
The whole Molotov line We, as a historians, we still don't know, we still argue. Maybe that was only a huge lie, a Stalin's lie for a Hitler, to show him that I'm strong and I'm gonna defend myself. But maybe it was just a trap.
The battle erupted at dawn on June 22nd with a massive German artillery and Luftwaffe bombardment that shelled the town for hours, targeting bridges, railroad stations, and bunker clusters. Infantry assaults followed, focusing on the sand crossings. The German pioneers attempted to seize the railroad bridge and erect pontoons, under fire from riverbank bunkers. Soviet resistance was tenacious but fragmented. The large bunker in the city's center was commanded by Lieutenant 𝐃𝐨𝐧'𝐭's 20-man garrison and held out until July 1st, firing all its ammunition, and ran dry before succumbing to flamethrower attacks. By June 27-28th, after 5 days of brutal combat, the German forces fully secured Przemyśl, inflicting heavy casualties on Soviets, with over 2,000 men killed or captured from the 99th. While suffering around 500 dead of their own. In the aftermath, German occupation forces repurposed many of the Molotov-lined bunkers on both the riverbanks as defensive outposts and anti-partisan positions. We will look a lot more at the Russian positions, but here, next to one of the old Austro-Hungarian blockhouses by the inner city wall, sits one nicely preserved Molotov artillery bunker overlooking the city, although facing in generally the wrong direction.
So we're pretty much on the inner ring of Przemyśl's defenses. And here's the Molotov line.
Yep.
So the Molotov line bunkers were also built on the old pre-World War I fortifications.
Part of the old fortifications been used also and composed to the Molotov line. That was the idea that the Russians got it. The main problem, well, let's use the word problem about the Molotov line, okay? Is how it was supposed to work. Because what you have to remember, we have a Sun River over there. Germans are on the other side of the river. So, in which direction every bunker should shoot?
Well,
straight ahead, okay? All of the bunkers that the Russians have created on the Molotov lines, they shoot on left or right side.
So they're all doing flanking fire?
Yes, the Germans would have to cross the river, then they would be shot.
So nothing to shoot at them while they're crossing the river?
No.
So they will just come up to the bunkers from the front and destroy them?
Yeah, pretty much.
Theoretically?
Yeah.
So was there even, when I say flanking fire, can the bunkers, could they see each other?
Some of them yes, and not everyone.
Well, we're pretty high up. This guy, he would be able to...
We are pretty high. Now you're looking at the Sun River. And that bunker is shooting only on our left side. So it means it shoots to the direction of 𝐼𝐶, the small village on the left side of the city of Przemyśl.
But if the Germans would come over, the only bridge is to the other side.
Oh, yes, it is.
I see.
Now, you have this bunker and there is only one gate that leads to the bunker, but in every bunker there was a secret gate. And how it looks like, one wall in one point was thinner than the others. So you have to blow it up, then you could run from the bunker. But only one person would know where this point of a bunker is. That would be a commander. If the commander would die, that's it.
Well, theoretically, if you're inside a bunker, which is a small confined room,
and you want to blow something up inside,
you're kind of having a really bad day anyway.
That's how it is.
Seems like a really bad Russian plan.
That's a bad idea.
That's a bad idea. So, we're looking at an artillery bunker?
Yes, that was the artillery bunker.
Positions look like with the angled metal like that?
Most of them, yes.
Is that how all the
Because the idea was, if the Germans would shoot directly on this wall, okay, the artillery wouldn't go inside because it would have to stop on one of those parts of this armor, right there. Now, if the Russians would shoot, what they gonna do with empty artillery.
Well, I would hope the casings would roll out into the moat.
That was the idea. Yeah, that's why you see you got those holes right there, prepared for the empty shells. And that bunker is 2 floors high. Down floor would be prepared for soldiers, so they could rest over there or take a sleep. And you can see a chimney right here. It goes from the floor down, because it was used for a heating system.
So camouflage netting.
Yes, the camouflage netting.
See some little bit of dents. I mean, those close defensive
That was
point.
for a machine gun, yeah.
Yep, close defensive point there. At least that's one thing that's where it's supposed to be. So,
Wonders you would have here.
well or downstairs?
Downstairs.
That's downstairs.
Yeah.
And this is the blast deflector that I very much am impressed with them having.
Yeah.
So if they threw a
Yep,
grenade in here,
yep.
then the blast would funnel out here instead of accumulate in the hallway. And just for the safety of this, there's also a close defensive position for that. And you have part of the steel door here left. Was that scrappers, or did the Germans actually blow their way
No,
into
I
this?
think that was scrappers.
Oh, well, yeah. So, and there would be a plate here with a little hook that would swing to the side, little lid that will swing to the side.
You can see there's an entrance to the down floor.
So there was a ladder.
There was a ladder, yeah. And that was this place where the soldiers would take a rest.
Was there fighting in here since this wall has...
No, not inside the bunker.
And the hook is for barrels, for moving barrels.
Mostly, yeah.
And the periscope.
Yeah, the periscope, yeah, that was quite in every bunker. So we have one common position right here.
That's a serious metal thing. What were they shooting at? 75, 76? Oh,
Looks like 76.
you certainly have enough room for it. It's actually very big. It's also...
The problem was most of the bunkers being not prepared for a battle. The Russians didn't have the time and didn't have the money to prepare them
Yeah.
when the Germans
Yeah,
attacked.
they didn't have...
They didn't create any minefields.
This is a significant piece of metal, but it's also very open for German fire.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, almost any German anti-tank gunner would be able to place a round through here. It's such a big open. I mean, if they can hit the slit on a tank,
Directly, yeah.
And this is stationary. This is so that's where the munition will run through that little slit there.
Yep. And go down to the moat.
Was there ventilation?
No, it doesn't look like it.
No ventilation. That's kind of.
Kind of
Yeah,
Russian.
that's kind of Russian. That's very crappy. So they weren't mounted to the floor.
Yeah.
So they were mounted on a shelf. They were mounted on a shelf with the guy sitting on it, right? Or was that only for
And
the next
operating, yeah. Oh, no.
I'm doubled. Still wonder why there's hook for the cannon right over here. Oh, unless they had, would they have any kind of machinery they would have to lift in that actually need something like this? Because
Maybe if they need to, bring something heavy down, like filters or whatever.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Well, there was no ventilation, was there?
No. Only pipe that goes around.
Yeah, no.
Like you get some.
Yeah, I'm there, yeah. I'm there. And interestingly enough, right above the Molotov bunker. How many years?
That one beside your hotel. Because it's full of exhibition and it's bigger than this one.
What's interesting and fun about this is this was built, what, 50 years before the Molotov bunker?
Yep.
Just above it, generally with exactly the same motivation, to control the access to the road. Except this had what, built what, 5 machine guns?
Yes.
And here it is. What, was there a wall that continued from up there
No,
to down
that
here?
wall
This was
ends right here.
a firing position, didn't it?
Yeah, you get those fire positions right there. Then there is a small fort. There was only a wooden building inside of it. Okay?
Okay.
And then the road only goes to this gate that we saw on the top of the hill. And that's it.
So the inner defenses were literally a series of firing positions,
Yep.
small
Yeah,
machine
yeah.
gun bunkers, no big major forts, just last stand defense.
The Austro-Hungarians believed that if the outer ring would be destroyed and the Russians would come to the city, actually that would be over for them. Of course they prepared this inner ring and it was supposed to be defense, but it wasn't so strong as the forts from the outer ring, completely.
And these were built on roughly the same time as the forts?
Yeah, that was the main idea, to join everything together, like 2 lines of the forts.
Remember, there are 36 more forts and more bunkers here, and we're going to visit all of them, trying to see something different in each one. So do prepare for the journey and stock up on coffee.
No, I feel I would be cheating you from this glorious expedition of mine by not recording it for you. Because you're sitting at home and you're drinking coffee, think to yourself, God, I'm glad I'm sitting home drinking coffee and not crawling through this muddy fur here. But this is way much more comfortable than it would have been actually going over the mountain. So,
You'll consider subscribing to my channel, liking, follows, and maybe even join me on Patreon to help out. I am just a guy, a historian, traveling around all these historic places in Europe on my own dime, trying to bring them to you.